All right, this lesson is going to be a little thing on using for loops with counters in a much better way than I've shown before. So let's take a quick look at it. So in the past, we've seen for loops where I can say, all right, for, and I already, by the way, have a little list up here, words, my cats are cool. And I might say for item in words, right? So that's going to be for each item in the words. So my is the first item, cats is the second item, are, and then cool is the last item. For item in words, I could print out item, right? And this will go one at a time, every single word in my list, and just run through it. And so if I print each one, here it'll say my cats are cool on 4 different lines because it's calling the print 4 different times. My cats are cool. This is the way we've already seen how to use for loops. Now before, in previous videos, kind of mistakenly, I've made counter, and then it ends up becoming just like a while loop. But there's a nice, really cool way that brings me from liking while loops more to kind of liking for loops more now. Which usually for loops in other languages are my favorite. In Python, they're a little different. But anyways, looking at this little trick, it's just a way to get counters in your for loops, and it's kind of like real nice. And then now for loops are like, they always use a little bit less lines and they just look cool. So I'm going to say for, and by the way, I could switch this from item just to I, right? That item is just a variable name. It won't change anything. See how I ran that? It didn't change anything. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say for I in range, the length of words. So you remember how range works from before? It goes from, usually we might have seen range like from, 0 to 3. And now it'll go for I, and then I will be 0, 1, 2, 3. Or I could even say for I in range 3, and it'll still print 0, 1, 2, right? I could say it for I in range 4, print 0, 1, 2, 3. It starts at 0, goes up to the last one. I could be explicit, say start at 0, or maybe I could say start at 1. Now, what this is going to do, if I say for, right, and we saw, let's try one more time. If I say for range 4, for I in range 4, it's going to print 0, 1, 2, 3, because I is going to be every number in the range between the number 0, implicitly there, up until 4, but not including 4. And that happens to be the indices there, right? My cats are cool. Instead of doing the number 4, I could say the length of my list words. Now, if I want to, I could print out the length of words, and we'll just comment these out for a second. But the length of words is going to be 4 right now because it's 0, 1, 2, 3, which means that there's a length of 4. So that means that this over here, length words, is really 4, and so the I is going to go starting at 0 up until but not including 4. So it would print 0, 1, 2, 3. This gets us a counter within my list, and then if I want, instead of just printing I could print words at I. And now it'll print my cats are cool. So just a little way to do a counter inside your for loop instead of just saying for I in and then the list. Instead of saying that, you would say for I in range, the length of my list, and now you have a counter in your for loop that can go. Let's do another practice of it. So I'm going to make a new sentence like words equals, I don't know, maps, are sometimes useful. And I'll keep going over here, but always pretty. I don't know. Here's my sentence, and now if I want to print words just to make sure that it made one full sentence, it would print maps are sometimes useful, but always pretty. Great. And so now we're just going to get another bit of practice looping with a for loop in both ways, using the counter for loop and using just the item for loop. So for the item for loop, I could say for item in words, and then I can print out item, and now it'll print maps are sometimes useful but always pretty. If I want to do the other way, and maybe you want to go back in the video to check again first before I give it away, if I want to do the other way, I would do for item in range the length of my words. And if I print the item now, it's just going to print the numbers, right? It'll just print the numbers for item in range length words. Huh? Do I need to put this whole thing in a parentheses? There you go. Sorry about that. So range is a function, so I need to give it, this argument needs to be inside parentheses for range. So it's printing out 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but I don't want to print out the numbers. I want to print out, well, words at each of those indices. And now I got the same thing printed out, but using a for loop with a counter. So this is how you do a for loop with a counter. And then the other way, without the in range, just item in the list, you can print out item, and it'll print out each one independently. Right, it doesn't change it. Now, if I said words at item right now, it is going to freak out because item's not a number, right? Item's going to every single item in the list, so it'll give me an error being like, what indices must be integers? They have to be 0, 1, 2, 3, where the first time I go through here, item is maps. That's enough rambling. I thought it was cool, just a neat little different way to use for loops. Hope you enjoyed.